Hey, good evening. We are playing a Halflings only white box game this evening by the title of Song of Sunriser. All the player characters will be Halflings. The legend goes the legendary sword known as Sunriser that helped forge the alliance between the Halflings and the Elves many centuries ago. Legend says on the seventh morning of the great Sunflame, the legendary halfling warrior by the name of Brinson, Bonecrusher Figfoot, wielded the great sword Sunriser against the enemy elves, who that morning accepted their defeat and signed a treaty with the halflings that has stood to this day. The sword, lost to history, was reportedly put into a temple that has long been lost, the temple of Boz, which you would know Boz is a sun god. But supposedly the sword was hidden in a temple of Boz years and years ago, somewhere along the edge of the Wolf Hickory Woods, and the elves forgot about it, even with their age. And of course, the halflings have. But recently, several of the village elders of the halfling shires have got together and discovered old manuscripts that reveal the last resting place of Sunriser. Now all the village elders have come together and they are getting a party to travel to retrieve the sword and return it, where it will be displayed in a museum for all of the races, the humans, the dwarves, the elves, and the halflings, to remember the great battles and the great treaty that was signed that has stood to this day. As we go into the village and we look and we see the village elder that is gathering to speak to all of you, you see him standing there and he looks around, standing up on the podium that's been built, and he's scanning across. And he looks towards you, Yang. You could tell me about who you're going to be playing and what they think about being selected to go on this great quest.
I'm going to be playing Sam Furfeet. Sam is a quick and nimble hobbit fighter of no small feat. First of all, he's 4 feet tall, standing over his peers with great stature. He wields a short bow and swords with expertise. He sports short, curly brown hair and dashing red cape, which he wears over a white and gold surcoat. Underneath the surcoat, he wears a well-tailored plate mail armor. He owns a war pony, which he rides and gallivants around the Shire, and he is excited to be chosen for this adventure. And he comes to the elder and says, "Well, elder, you have made a great choice. I'm really eager to get on this adventure." "Yes, sir." And he salutes.
The elder, as you see a bird fly and land on top of his staff, he looks towards you and he goes, and you would know this elder's name is Vin Birdsong. He says, "Yes, Sam, I think you will prove valor, and this will be a most dangerous quest, but I know that you have the heart to go in and bring back Sunriser so it can be displayed to all." And it's like he forgets you for a moment, Sam, as he scans across and he's looking across again as he lays eyes upon your character, Daniel. If you can tell us about who you're playing and how they feel about being selected for this quest.
So I'm playing Steph Pillbox. She is petite as halflings go, standing only about 2.5 feet tall. Um, she notable about her is she's missing her left hand. Young in her younger days, being from a poor family, she was stealing some bread uh, from an elven merchant who was passing through. who thought that because elves are so much better than halflings, it was okay to chop off a young thief's hand. And so for that reason, she has always looked at this sword, the legend of the sword, with great awe, in the being the device that helped fell and drop the elves from their high horse, so to speak. So she's happy to take part in this. She wants to bring the sword back and put it on great display so that the elves can remember the day that the halflings took their glory.
All right, perfect. Then Birdsong, the elder, says, "Yes, yes, Steph. Even though you've lost part of your physical body, your mind, and your spirit is strong, you've been selected to go and help Sam and our other person who is going." And he pauses in mid sentence as he looks over and he kind of shakes for just a moment. You don't know if it's from the cold or what it is, even though it's not that cold this morning. He looks towards you, Crystal, if you can tell us who you're playing and what your thoughts are.
Yeah, coming bumbling through the crowd in a rather rude way is this young half elf with a pipe in his mouth, and he's going and he's kind of grumbling to himself, "Oh boy," and he gets in and he sees the elder. He goes, "Oh, there you are, elder. Oh, got another problem. It's my tomatoes. Something's interfering with their growth, and I can't stand it. What kind of evil has been going on now that my tomatoes aren't growing right?"
You see Vin, he's still kind of shaking. And he goes, Bumper Stump, the tomatoes will have to wait. With who you are and your ways of knowing nature and the forest and stuff, you've been selected to go and help Steph and Sam on this great quest that you must put away and put aside the summer we had where your tomatoes did not grow right now. You've got to do what the most awful thing is to help everyone now.
He smokes on his pipe a bit and thinks about it and says, the sword. Yeah, the sword. Well, that must be it then. The sword wants so badly to be back in our village that it's interfered with the growth of my tomatoes. Well, very well, I'll get the sword if it means that my tomatoes will grow properly again. Be it jumble jumble. And this character, as he stumbles over to the group, is Bumper Stump Fumble Snatch, the local complainer of this village, always going on about something or another that's interfering with his crop growth.
As you do that, Vin walks down and he motions for you three to come over. He says, "Well, today we're going to unveil the statue that has been made of Brinson. Please, please." And he looks towards a couple more of your halfling villagers as they run over and they start pulling off to uncover the statue of the famous halfling who wielded Sunriser, Brinson, Bonecrusher, Figfoot. And you see the statue modeled after Brinson in his older age as he's standing there, and he goes, he will be the greatest halfling from this village ever. But you three, upon a successful mission, will join the annals of history and serve also if you return with Sunriser, so it can be displayed to all as a sign of prosperity and a sign of peace. But I have something for each of you to help you on your way." And you see another halfling run over with like a big sack, and he starts opening it up as Van reaches in. And Bumper Stump, roll me a D100.
Okay, sorry. 90.
Ooh, let me scroll down that far. In some games, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
he reaches in and he pulls out this tube of this paste stuff, and he hands it to you, and he says, take this. This is made. It is very. It will hold things together. It will. You can use it to hold things together, and it will also. Well, you could probably put somebody in its place also if you want to now. And he hands you like a tube of what you would know would be some type of heavy use glue.
Well, I'm sure this will come in handy somehow. He'll take it, put it in his pocket.
Be sure you don't use that as lip gloss.
Yeah.
You can use that as a hair gel too.
As you both say that, the elder looks towards you, Steph, and says, "Oh, I have something in the sack for you. What could it be?"
Ooh, 49.
49.
Middle.
He reaches in and pulls out this very bright colored feather that come off some bird that you've probably never even seen. I mean, it's all multicolored and multi-hued, and he hands it to you and he goes, "This is the feather of bravado. When you face your enemies, wear it in your hair, and it will add +1 to your AC."
Oh, nice.
And he looks over towards the last halfling, the warrior, the fighter, the brave one, and he goes, Sam, what could we have to assist you in this journey?"
Well, anything that you would give me, I would take it with gracious, graciousness.
I get 36.
All right. He hands you this whistle, this wooden whistle. He says, "Take this and use it. If you want something interesting to happen, if you encounter anything, this whistle, it could help you. Just blow it once, and something good will happen. I promise, Sam."
I shall remember it, sir.
And he takes away the whistle and puts it in the backpack.
As you three prepare and reach out on this voyage, you know that it would take about, hopefully, from what the documents show and the manuscripts and the maps they give you, that you think it's going to be about a 4-day journey to get to the location on the edge of the Wolf Hickory Woods, which you would know the Wolf Hickory Woods are all elf, forest elves, and some hill elves that come down out of the hills that still maintain this area. Of course, you have a peaceful alliance with them, but they usually maintain themselves. But you know that this reported sunken temple that is lost to time is somewhere along the edge of these woods. As you three make your way and start your journey that way, the rest of the village, of course, praise you and hails the 3 brave selected members as y'all head off the first day. Anything special y'all would like to do as you head off?
Bumber Stump, he, as they're starting to get out of the village, he'll go, "Oh, yes, well, better call Virus over," and he pulls this whistle out of his own pocket, this little silver whistle, and when he blows on it, no sound comes out, and then he puts the whistle away, and just a few seconds later, this large warhound comes pounding up the path and just like stops sliding like straight in front of Bumber Stump, and he gets down so that Bumber Stump Fumble Snatch can climb up onto his back, and then he pets the dog once and goes, "Oh, good boy," and the dog lifts up and begins to walk.
All right, perfect.
Steph is going to get herself a bag of flour.
All right.
Sam
He
is
rides a
gonna
horse, but it's a super, super tiny horse.
Sam is gonna water the horse and put the barding on. He's gonna hop on it and says, "There, boy, we're gonna go on an adventure. Aren't you excited? Look at that warhound. You gotta have a friend too."
All right.
I barely think Cyrus would be friends with a horse. That's silly.
And the pony goes,
So,
I just want
Bumberstump,
to be back home, tending
So-
my garden.
so
I gotta
what?
go all out of my way to get a sword just to get it to grow properly.
Well, we'll try to get you back soon. But what's been happening with your tomatoes?
They don't grow properly, I told you. They're not nearly as big as they're supposed to be.
Did you water them?
Of course, I watered them.
Well, you're the druid. Don't look at me on how to grow tomatoes properly.
I didn't ask your opinion on how to grow tomatoes properly. I told you why they're not growing properly. It's because of the sword.
I thought you would have all the answers. Fine. Let's just go and get that sword.
You guys look, and Steph's
And-
already like a few hundred yards in front of you, riding down the road.
Wait for us, Steph.
pony tries
You
to
go
catch
riding
up.
off. Bumberstump is still on his horse, like on his warhound, just kind of trotting in the back, stuffing his pipe.
All right.
So,
Y'all start
Steph,
out the day and head out of the Shire where y'all reside. And as it gets midday that afternoon, Sam, roll me a d6.
I have 4.
Yeah, I mean, y'all meet probably a few of the other halflings and stuff that are traveling along the road at first, but as you get on out and take the path you know to travel towards the Wolf Hickory Woods, the rest of the afternoon goes pretty peaceful. You don't meet as many people on the road, and it gets closer to the evening of where you know you're gonna have to probably set up camp somewhere. The area is pretty much this area is pretty much grasslands, small growth of grass and stuff. There's some hills that are way off, nothing close to you. It's pretty flat land, grassland where you'll be camping at the first night.
I'll take the first watch.
Sam says.
Okay. When we find our location where we're going to set up, Steph is going to, she's got a little bell and some string. So she's going to kind of produce a line around the perimeter with the string and using some sticks to hold it up and put the bell on there. So if anything gets, within, 20 feet or something, it'll ring the bell, hopefully.
All right, sounds good to
And
me.
you're going to do all that with one hand? That's impressive.
I'll help her.
Yes, I am going to do it with one hand.
With help, you can do it faster.
She's been without her hand for some 10 years now, so she's quite able. But thank you for pointing that out.
So Sam looks at Steph and says,
So, Steph, did you hear anything about the sword? Any rumors?
I've heard that when elves look at it, they cry. And that makes me happy.
I'll bet. I heard that the sword is intelligent and that it's going to take over its possessor, leading them to believe in greatness is only with them because they would be as the chosen leader. And that's why it was hidden for so many years.
She nods. That makes sense.
So I think we should be really careful when we encounter the sword. I don't want to be taken over.
But aren't you going to be the future leader?
No, I just do a little adventuring here and there. That's what I'm after.
Well, they say those who do not seek to be the leaders are usually the best.
Hey, Bumberstump, did you hear any rumor about the sword?
As camp is being set up and everything, Bumberstump Fumble Snatch is he's taking out his pots and his pans from his backpack, and he's starting to put together a little campfire so that he can make dinner. Because he tends to gardens and stuff. He's an okay cook. Though I might want to make a roll to see how well the meal turns out. If that's okay, Tony.
Sure.
And he'll say, well, I didn't hear anything about the sword itself. No, I did hear that nobody leaves the forest alive. Not because of the orcs either, mind you. There's an old black dragon that looks over that place. Zistilla. That's what they call her.
Black dragon, you say? Oh no.
No, mind you, it's just no rumor.
Bumbersump, do you know what this whistle does?
And then he takes out the whistle that he was given by the elder and shows it to him.
Nope, I only have one whistle, and it's for virus. Virus comes running whenever I blow on it. Don't know why, but he does. Good
What
enough for
about
me.
you, Steph? Any idea what this whistle does? The elder was pretty vague when he said that I should blow on it when we're in danger or something.
Oh, yes. I've seen whistles like this many times. What you do is you take it, put it in your mouth, and then you blow air through it when you are in danger.
And complete silence. And he looks at you and says,
Okay.
Yeah, Bumber
so-
Stump, you're gonna make dinner, so use your forestry deal. You got what, a 2 out of 6?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds
We'll,
good.
we'll just use that because you're probably picking some herbs or looking for stuff around.
Okay, yeah, and I rolled a 2, so I think I made it because that's what my forestry
Yep.
is. Yeah, so I ended up making a pretty good meal.
This is quite delicious, Bumbleface.
Of course it is.
After
I used my herb. I used my own garden ingredients. None of that communal stuff. Whippergreen. He thinks he knows how to make a decent eggplant, but
Can I have some
you
more?
tell me that's not one of the best eggplants you've ever had.
Sam reaches over and tries to grab another eggplant.
Oh, this is really delicious.
Yep, Sam, after y'all eat and Sam is stuffed, his plate armor is probably about to burst off. You're taking first watch, Sam. Who's taking second?
Yeah, I'll take second since Bummer Stuff is probably going to cook breakfast. Unless, I have a jar of rum, so I'm going to take a few swigs and offer it around to the others before I roll down into my sack.
All right.
Yeah, Bumber Stump. He shakes his hand. No, thanks. I have my own rum, and he pulls out a little clay jar.
I don't know. I'd rather take your rum, Steph.
And then he takes a sip.
Don't drink too much. You're on duty. But I'll leave it right here. When you wake me up, you can have some more before you go to bed. And then she rolls.
Woohoo!
Yeah. He takes just a
Sam,
couple of sips.
Roll me a d6 on your watch for me.
I get 5.
Yeah, you sit there and your tummy's full, your kidneys are full, and you have to go and do what you got to do every once in a while. But you come back and things go pretty smooth. You're pretty tired by the end of your watch. It's nothing amazing happens as you wake Steph up. And Steph, you begin your watch if you'll roll me a d6.
Yep. Steph she has a sling, so she puts a stone loosely in it and sits there with her eyes open, and she'll watch for anything to happen. She got a 5.
Yeah, your watch goes by with much happening. None of your cans rattle or your strings set up deal moves. So it goes pretty good as you finally wake up old Bumber Stump.
Bummer Stump. Cumbersump. Bumber. Hey, she kicks him softly.
No, can't wait until the best dream part of my dream. Dream my tomatoes were growing properly again.
They say the best part of the dream is always right before you wake up.
Well, I guess that's true then. And then Bumberstump will blow on his whistle and gets his dog to come with him to help keep watch.
Yep. And as you do, roll me a d6.
A 1.
Oh, perfect. Just what we needed.
It would be me.
Let's see here. Now roll me a d20.
You see how many dragons attack us? 14 dragons.
See how true that rumor is?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're walking the perimeter or whatever, you and your hound, and you see something kind of glowing in the ground there. As you reach down to pick it up, it appears like it's a kind of like a tool set. You see a set of chisels and stuff. It's in a leather pouch that has just been laying there in the grass and stuff. Look like it's part of it's rusted and stuff that you find.
No, never seen anything quite like this before. I'll like hold it up to Varsh and let him sniff it, see if he gets any kind of scent or anything off of it.
He kind of shakes his snout and kind of sneezes, from probably the mold and mildew or whatever in the ground. I mean, you can tell it's been there a long time.
All right, he'll roll it up and put it in his pouch for now, and see in the morning if anyone knows what it might be.
Yep. And the rest of the your shift goes pretty uneventful. Nothing. The cans don't rattle that staff had set up or anything. You're able to get them woke up and have your breakfast and go on day 2.
Mm-hmm. As he's making breakfast and everything in the morning, he'll say, "Oh, by the way, I was on patrol last night. I found this," and he'll show them the little leather pouch with bulletholes. Any idea what this may be?
Looks like a leather pouch to me.
No.
Observant, Sam.
It's a leather pouch with tools, Sam. A leather tool pouch.
I knew that. Of course I knew that.
Yeah, I know you did.
So is this like a thieves tool set, or it's just...
No, it's just tools, chisels. A set of chisels for tool making, tool working.
Okay. All right. Like, does he think it might be worth anything now that he's, there's light and stuff he can see?
No, I mean, it's not going to be worth any money value. I mean, it'd be maybe worth something to somebody who could use them, but I mean, they're not. They're old and rusted.
Okay. No, he'll keep it as a souvenir all the same.
Yep. So you start out on day 2. Y'all continue into to the more uncivilized, more unoccupied areas. It's still pretty much grasslands. You see that you're moving and getting closer. The hill range appears to be getting closer, as you're moving through day 2. Most of the day goes by pretty uneventful until that afternoon. Maybe y'all are getting ready and thinking about it's time to get ready to set up camp and do some cooking. This is funny. You hear a noise coming from the grass, and it's like, at first, Bumper, you would recognize the sniff and stuff of this large, and you see this large hound come bounding and running by your group, and he's got a leash on and a collar, and he's pulling and running past your group of this large, some type of war hound.
Okay. I mean, Bumberstump is caught a bit off guard by this, and he's going to grab. He's probably Well, you said we were about to set up camp, so I'm probably not riding Virus at this point. So he'll probably grab Virus Leash and give him a yield command.
All right. And you hear
And-
more noise coming at that point. You hear probably 30 feet behind with this hound come out of the grass. You hear more noise coming, and as you three turn and look, you see a human that's dressed in like this old leather armor, and he's running, and you can tell he's tired. Yeah, come back here, Sam.
Sam,
Did he just call my name?
you did. Beware, humans are dangerous.
Uh-oh. He must be onto us.
Who would
And
name Halfling's name?
Bumberstump Bumberstump is gonna do a whistle towards the dog and do and I'd like to use my forestry to see if I can get the dog to come to me.
Yeah, let me pull that up and read something real quick. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'll let you do that.
Okay. And 5. And I did not get to do it this time.
Yeah, the dog is just like oblivious to you, and by this time the human is close to y'all, and he's kind of surprised to see you all, and he goes, "Oh, didn't expect travelers on the road. Me and Sam we were out tracking foxes, and the darn rascal got away from me. Sam, he's just he's ornery sometimes. Which way did he go?"
Well, my name is Sam, but I suppose you're talking about that dog, right?
Oh, yeah, I've never run into a halfling named Sam. That's unusual. Yes, my puppy dog.
Well, your dog ran that way.
And then he points actually in that same direction that the dog went away.
Well, if you like, I could probably try and help you find him.
Oh, no. You'll continue on you're probably on a grand adventure anyway. I'm just out hunting foxes, and you can tell he's definitely dressed as some kind of a huntsman. And have a good day. And he takes off running towards the direction you pointed Sam ran.
Bye, hunters.
Oh, brother, who would name their dog Sam? I feel so disgraced.
Yeah, sometimes humans name their dogs strange names.
Yeah. Well, let's get that breakfast. Or is it the second breakfast?
I think you're on like your 4th breakfast now, Sam.
He
The sun's
burps.
going down.
Oh, yeah.
It's time for second dinner. Come on, I'll make something.
Huzzah!
He fist pumps.
Yep, y'all are able to set up camp and cook. Bumberstinkle, if you want to roll your forestry for how good you cook tonight.
All right, let's see. Not 5. I didn't do that well tonight.
Oh, not good at all.
Yeah. Well, it's been a few days now. These things are starting to go bad. Probably gonna have to start making meals out of rations, and that's never that great.
Hey, Bumberstump, this thing kind of tastes raw. Did you even cook it?
Now, that's how it's supposed to be cooked. It's supposed to taste a little raw. Good for you.
He rolls his eyes.
Well, I mean, it's better than not eating. So thanks.
Yeah, true enough. I'm just giving you a hard time, Bumberstump.
And we'll go with the same watch order, I guess, it'll be fine.
Yep.
Yeah, Steph will set up her little bell thing again. And then
All
also when Bumberstump's like cleaning up the pots and pans or whatever, she has like a loaf of bread and some cheese. She'll break some off and secret it to Sam, and then also eat some.
All right. Sam, roll me a d6 on your watch.
I got 3.
Yeah, same thing. It goes by. You start hearing like noises closer, like creature noises and stuff, animals coming from the hills and stuff, maybe wolf calls and stuff. But as you know, you've gotten away from more civilized areas as y'all getting closer to the forest and the woods and the hills. But nothing else happens. as you wake up Steph. And
Hey, Steph, it's your turn.
Oh, 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 so soon. Okay, thanks, Sam. She'll, get the fire up a little bit higher, warm her hands, and again take her sling, from wrapped around, and put a stone in it, and sit there and kind of just pay attention to the sounds of nature.
yeah, and you hear the same distant noises coming from probably the hill range. You would think that you're able to place it over that way. And if you'll roll me a d6.
1.
Oh, perfect.
Ooh.
Let's see. Do you roll me a d20 first, and then I'll
15.
Do you make any kind of walks around to check the camp or anything? Or are you pretty much going to stay set?
Yeah, I think that since we're in an open field, she's not really. If anything, she'll just kind of get up and stand up occasionally so she can see across the fire. But yeah, she's not going to walk towards the edge at all unless she hears the thing jingle.
Yeah, you don't hear a thing jingle, but maybe as you're, getting in enough with the fire vision, and there's some moonlight itself. You see something kind of out in part of the grass that you didn't see earlier. It's not, maybe it appears to maybe be, from where you can tell, maybe 2 foot high, that is setting up off the ground there, but it's not moving. But you definitely didn't remember seeing it earlier.
Hmm.
And maybe you overlooked it or something.
So maybe I think it's like a stump or something from this distance. I can't tell what it is.
Yeah, you can't really tell. It's not real big, but it's it's probably maybe appears to be about 2 foot high, and maybe a foot wide.
How far away is it?
I'm going to say about 40 feet.
Okay, then she's going to just pick up like a regular rock or something she can find on the ground, like not one of her proper sling stones, and she's just going to like loosely sling something at it to see if it goes away, see if it's an animal.
Yeah, you hear it kind of thud into it, like it hit. It sounded more like when it hit wood.
Oh, okay. Huh. All right, she takes note of where it is. She's actually going to draw like in the dirt. She'll draw an arrow pointed at it because it's too dark and she's not going to walk out there in the dark. So she'll keep an eye on it. But
yep, and you do, and it doesn't move or any noises come from that area or anything as you watch it, maybe off and on through the rest of your shift as you get up.
Yeah. She'll make notes.
Front.
Yeah, and she'll wake up Scumblethump. And she'll point it out to him. Scumbles. Scumbles.
Oh, what?
Ah, that's part of the dream again, huh?
No, this time it was a bad dream. My entire crop was ruined because of the sword. It cut down all my plants.
Well, that's less than ideal. See that thing out there? And I point to the thing that I saw, and I say, I didn't notice that before we went to bed, but keep an eye on it. I don't think it's anything, but you never can tell.
All right, very well. Probably just didn't notice this stump out there.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm guessing he can tell it's kind of a stump.
No, you can't tell from where you're at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he kind of squints at it and says, "I'll keep an eye on it," and he'll whistle over to Virus and get him to walk with him.
Yep, and roll me a d6 on your walk.
6.
Yeah, you and Virus not find anything. I mean, he doesn't even chase any rabbits up from the grass or anything. Nothing happens at all. It's probably one of the most peaceful nights you've ever had.
Right, and keeps an eye on the stump thing from time to time as well.
Yep, you hear no noise or it doesn't move anything as daylight approaches.
Oh, that was a good night. Did anything happen last night?
Steph said that she saw a thing, but I don't know. Hasn't done anything. And I'm going to roll to see how good my breakfast is. My breakfast is a 5. So not a very good breakfast either.
No, same. Leftovers.
As you and Bumble both look over that area now, but the sun has risen, you see it appears to be some type of wooden crate. Part of it's kind of stuck in the ground, and part of it, is stuck up that you saw. But it appears to be some type of wooden crate or wooden box.
Oh. Well, I would say that once the when Bumble's cooking, I'll just walk over there casually. I'm not going to draw a weapon or anything, but I'll walk cautiously.
Yep, and nothing happens as you approach it. I mean, it doesn't move, no noises or anything else happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to examine it. I'm going to get in close and see if the crate had any contents that are still.
Yeah, it appears to actually to be able to open it with part of it stuck in the ground. You're probably going to have to pull it out of the ground to get to where you can set it up enough to actually get it all the way open, it appears.
Okay. Am I going to need help for that, or is it small enough that I?
No, you think you can do it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I have my sword. I can use it like a shovel, dig around it a bit, and pull it out. I'll make sure I yell over to the group that that's what I'm doing. I'm going to say, it's a crate. I'm going to try to pull it up out of the ground here.
And it has a lock. It has a lock on it. Once you pull it up, you can see there's a hasp with a lock. And you notice on the lock, do you speak Elvish?
I do. Oh, crap. No. I'll say no because I didn't make my languages.
You notice it's got some kind of, well, you would know it's Elvish just by looking at it, that it's some kind of Elvish writing on the lock itself.
Okay. I call back. Does anybody speak the Elvish tongue?
What about you, Bumper Stump? I only speak Orcish and human.
Same here. I've never been one to study elves.
Don't humans speak our language?
I know what humans do. I don't keep up with them.
Tony, do they?
What, does humans speak your language?
Yeah, I mean,
we all speak common, right? That's like a basic
Yeah,
language.
y'all speak common, right?
Yeah,
okay.
that's the common tongue of man, so that's human.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
I think, right? I mean, I don't know unless Tony says otherwise.
then suddenly Sam said, "Yeah, I speak Elven."
Let's see. So I speak Kobold, Dwarvish, and Orc. Okay.
What did you do to change where you speak it now, Sam?
I had Orcish and human. I thought human language was
Okay, I got you.
secondary. Yeah, but
Yeah, if you speak Elvish, you see that it's just like a warning, kind of like a small warning about that whatever the contents are that they're protected or whatever.
yeah, he relays that information.
Interestingly enough, protected
Gosh.
contents is exactly my specialty. She's going to turn the box over onto like its side and see if have you got a hand axe, fighter?
Don't look at me. I just have my sword and my bow, short bow.
I'm going to bang the bottom of the box.
I got
Yep, go ahead.
I got a club. It's a staff, but I use it as a club. Like it's a walking stick, basically.
I want to hack
Hold
it.
on, let me look through my gear because, I got one of those withdrawn backs, and I got a bunch of stuff on my.
I'm going to tap on the bottom of the thing and see how solid it seems.
Oh, I got a crowbar.
Yeah, me too. I have a crowbar. But that's good.
Yeah, you start banging on the bottom. Roll me a D6.
Oh, you know what? I got those chisels from earlier, and I also have a hammer.
Oh, nice. There you go. Chisels. That sounds good. I got 3. Done.
Yeah, you start banging on it at first, and it seems to be pretty solid. Maybe you're kind of cussing at first, but then right when you're about to give up, it seems part of it's chipping away.
Oh. So I when you say you have the chisels, I say, how heavy is this thing? Can I drag it back to the camp, or should I have them come
Yeah,
in?
once you got it out and stuff, it doesn't seem that it's very light.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say, okay, I'll drag it back to camp. We can open it up there, and I drag the thing back. My little two.
Does it sound like there are some bottles of stuff in there?
Nope, nothing's rattling or moving, and it's very,
Okay.
like I say, once she starts moving, it's very light. Whatever's in there, it doesn't weigh much, if there's anything in there.
Do we hear any other sound, like creature sound or anything
Nope,
like that? Okay.
nothing at all.
No, why would there be a creature in the box? Listen, the elves are all out there trying to keep us out of stuff. And I asked to borrow the chisels, or have you do it, I guess, and let's chop the bottom of the box open.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah, he'll lend you a chisel, and I don't know if there was a hammer in the kit, but either way, he has a hammer.
Yeah, I
If he has a hammer himself, then he'll also join you in trying to.
Yeah, and y'all can do that. It's once you start hammering, chiseling it all, I mean, it breaks open quick. And out spill the contents, you see a bunch of old vellum parchment type paper. And it appears to be brand new. I mean, it appears it's not been sitting there for however long it's been there, but it's nothing written on any of it. It appears to have been a load of probably some type of quote magical elvish vellum paper that they were taking somewhere.
This could be worth something to the right people, I say. I'm gonna I'll keep it as neat as possible and put it into a bag, I guess, because probably don't want to carry the whole box with us.
Yeah, you see, once you open it, you could probably transfer it over to a sack or a bag or whatever, maybe, and make it easier for carrying.
Yeah, I've got like a.
I have a leather case here. You might use for that. Hold on.
Perfect.
He'll hand you his leather case.
Nice.
It's used to store maps and scrolls and such.
Yeah. We'll put it in there and we'll say, well, we've found some decent treasure so far. Some chisels, which have already come in handy, and some elven papers. And we're not even in the forest yet. This is a good sign.
Sam looks around to see whether if there are any elves nearby.
Nope, you don't see any.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I mean, we see this crate with Elven warning on it, but we don't see any elves. Was there a raid?
You know how those elves are. So weird.
Well,
Probably.
But why would they leave a crate full of their magical scrolls or something?
They probably left it when they were dancing naked under the moon.
You never know. These elves are crazy, I say.
Well, it could also be that they were waylaid in the night by the wolves, which we heard yesterday.
Yeah, that could be.
This crate looks like it's been there for a while.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that crate has been there more than a few days for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we still have ways to go then. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, y'all begin day 3, and as the day proceeds and progresses, it goes pretty good. You notice that you are getting more. You start seeing what you would know be the outlying edge of the woods, the wolf hickory woods, where you're going to have to progress into, and you know probably with the time you're making that, hopefully you'll be at the edge or just into the edge of them by nightfall if you wanted to be.
Yeah, I say we stay at least, quarter mile from the edge of the woods. If we're only going to get right to the edge, let's stay a quarter mile back so we're not up there, because the orcs are imbued with magic in the woods. They're quite invisible.
Yeah. Very well. Let's. Well, I'm sure Virus will be able to smell the filthy things.
Well, so what are we eating for dinner?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Down to some of my rations. I rolled a 3, so not as bad tonight.
Tastes a little bit better than it did last night.
A little salty, but as rations go.
Well, at least this is cooked.
And he just stuffs himself again.
Sam, as you stuff yourself and begin your watch and everything, Steph sets up maybe the perimeter again. Sam, roll me a d6.
I got 4.
Yeah, you hear the outlying howls and stuff of the wolves out in the hills, as you're much closer to them now. And, you start hearing the noises coming from the distant forest, the woods and all that, but nothing else happens.
Hey, Steph, you're up.
Oh, phew. Yeah, I could hardly sleep anyways, being so close to these woods.
I hear some wolves out there. I'll say just wake us up if you hear any trouble.
Yeah. So she sits down by the fire and again builds it up a bit more and keeps her eyes.
Hey, Tony.
Yep.
Can I quickly do, I wanted to ask something real quick. Is there any like a stream or lake or anything like that in this area that we decided to camp out
Nope.
in?
Nope. You've not seen any type of water source.
Okay. All right, never mind then.
All right. Steph, you are up on watch if you roll D6.
You okay? 6.
Yeah, you hear the wolf calls that Sam mentioned, distant still, I mean, in the hills and all that, and you start hearing the noises coming from the woods, but everything else goes by. Nothing trips any of your setup deal or anything it all goes by pretty well.
Okay. Flumblebatch.
What? Huh? What'd you call
I'm
me?
again.
Oh, okay.
You were saying something about eggplants in your sleep. I don't know. Watch out for
my
them.
eggplants. I have a bad feeling. He whistles to Varus and begins to take his rounds, and a roll of 1.
Well, looks like your bad feeling may hold out on you here. Well, let's see here. Let me pull out the chart of death.
Okay.
You and
Somehow
Virus
rocks fall.
you make your rounds, and you start hearing some noise that you can tell you'll come from the wood area, and you hear like a chittering, and you look, and you are not surprised as you see coming straight towards you in your camp what appears to be 5 large figures, and by the way they're shaped and stuff, you would know they're probably some type of large giant ants.
Okay.
They're probably, we'll say, they're a good 60 feet away from you when you first see them in the dark. You can tell the outline of them. There's just some moonlight.
Do they trip the fence?
They're not up to it yet. They're not up to the tripwire quite yet. But they are headed that way. You maybe think maybe they sense the fire or whatever.
Okay. All right. So, really quick, using maybe using forestry or something like that. Is there any way that Bumber Stump Fumble Snatch might know of some kind of thing he could use to get rid of ants, something that he could produce that they don't like, Because I'm definitely not wanting to mess with giant ants.
What do you have? Do you have anything as something that would make something that was like a bad smelling anything? Do you have any?
Yeah, only thing I really know, I have that tube of that magic glue I might could throw on the ground.
Yeah, and it's not going. It's a small tube. It wouldn't cover that big of an area if you're going to make a.
Let's see. I'm not sure. I got a bottle of rum, play bottle of rum. It's probably pretty, down by now. I got a pint of oil. I don't know if that would do anything.
No, I don't think you're going to have anything that you could do quick enough to even try to make up for now. There's just
okay. All right. Okay. So then Bumber Stump is going to then, he's shocked. He's going to start. He's going to run over. Quickly make his way over. He wants to try to not alert the ants that he's moving. And let's see, he's going to give Virus a stay command for now. And he's going to try to quickly move over first, I'm going to say Sam, and try to put his hand over Sam's mouth and like wake him up without Sam making any noise.
As you're doing that, you're moving pretty good as far as you know. You think you're staying as invisible as you can to these ants. They don't seem to take notice of you. But as you get to Sam, and start to put your hand down, to hopefully wake them up peacefully, you hear the alarm go off, the string and the cans and the stuff that Steph has set up. And as you do, if you turn real quick and look, you see maybe two of those figures run off, as it startled them. And the other three appear to be coming on straight through. As you're, Steph and Sam, before she tries to wake you up, y'all both roll me a D6.
4.
1.
Steph, you're sound asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, you wake up, you're having a dream, and you hear the alarm go off. And as soon as you wake up, you see Bumber's hand right above your mouth.
He knocks the hand away from his mouth and then says, "Oh, under attack!"
Yeah, and Bumber Stump will just kind of smack his head, and he's going to quickly rush over to Steph now. And if the fool gets eaten for yelling out like that, then so be it.
Yeah, and everybody just will do D6 initiative, individual initiative, D6 plus your dex. What did you get, Sam?
I got 6.
All right, Sam on 6. What about Steph?
I also got 6.
All right, and what about Bumber?
Got a 3. I don't think I have a dex mod, so. Oh wait, yeah, I did. No.
No, you need a 15.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no. White boxes, yeah, okay. So just a 3 then.
Yeah, you start waking Steph up, and as you look, we'll say these 3 ants that are still approaching. They're about 30 feet from y'all as all of y'all are waking up. And it's Sam and Steph up first.
Sam dives and grabs his short bow, and then lets out a fire to the, slings 2 arrows to the nearest one.
All right.
Okay. Bow's got like a rate of fire of 2 per round.
Rate of fire 2, and also these are not. You're a fighter. These are not HD1 creatures though.
Okay, so I'm just gonna roll 2 d20s, and one of them I'm gonna hit. So
all right.
That's AC 17.
Yep, you would hit it with that.
Yep. And that is 1d6 minus 1. That's 5 points of damage on the ant.
You hear the ant let out a loud chitter, but it's still, it kind of falters, but it still gets back up and starts moving towards all of you.
Okay, Steph is gonna she's gonna run like roll over with her sling. She has that. She's gonna sling a stone at one of the creatures.
Do you want to try to sling the one of the other 2, or one of the ones that or the one that Sam went?
I think we're probably going at the same time, so I won't know. If you want to randomize the hit, that's probably fair. I rolled 12 plus 3, so 15.
A 15 will hit it, and it actually you sling it at the same one. So yep.
Oh, nice. 6 points. Wow. Okay.
Oh wow.
That's a hell of a stone.
What the hell does this stone do? What does it hit this ant where the ant goes to the ground then?
Yeah, so the ant is moving up, and it gets 2 arrows in, and it's like starts to stagger, and then it kind of like raises up its mandibles to kind of make an ant scream or whatever. The stone goes directly right into its mouth, and it starts to cough, and it asphyxiates and dies.
Yep, it goes straight to the ground. The ants had a 4, so the other 2 are approaching. One of them sees you, Bumper, and starts running straight towards you. You can tell this one is much bigger than the other one. It appears it's a larger ant. Oh my gosh. It runs straight towards you, tries to grab you and bite into you with those mandibles, but it misses you badly. What is it? Rolled a 2 on the die. The other one, oh wow, it runs towards you too, Bumper, seeing that its boss is not doing too well, so it's going to try to, get some favor points and help the boss out. And that is going to hit. You will take 3 points of damage as it bites into you, and make me a saving throw.
Okay, 1 second. I have to make a saving throw on a bite.
Yep.
Okay. 5, so I failed my saving throw.
Oof.
You feel real queasy and like real sick. Maybe you're thinking that whatever you cooked for dinner is just really wasn't that good. It's catching up with you as your stomach starts rolling and boiling. So everything you do right now will be at a -2.
Okay.
Then we're back to you, Sam and Steph, as you see the 2 ants go after Bumber, and he's just kind of like turning green.
He's gonna aim at the one that's the smaller one.
Wait,
That's
I didn't get to go.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you, Bumber. You're last in the row. I forgot that. Thank you.
Okay. He's Bumber Stump is gonna whistle and say, "Virus, help!" and get Virus to attack the ant for him.
All right.
I guess that's all. Is that just one action?
Well, yeah. I mean, the dog will act, and then if there's something you want to do,
Okay. All right. So then
is,
I
is
guess
he
the dog.
is he going after the smaller one or the big one?
They're both on him, so I'll just say determine randomly.
All right, I'll do that.
Because he's going to defend his owner, so he'll just try randomly with a 19 to hit.
Oh yeah, 19 hits.
And let me see how much damage his bite does. 1d6 minus 1. All right. So he bites into this ant for max 5 points of damage.
All right, perfect. You see that he went after the bigger one, trying to probably get favor points with you too. So he bites into him, and the ant's not happy at all now. What would you like to do?
And Bumber Stump, he'll let's see. He's gonna pull up his club, and he's gonna like his walking staff he always has. He uses as a club, and he's gonna smack that ant in the head, and then he's gonna do basically like a fighting retreat.
Do you want to target the same one that your mutt got or not?
I'm gonna say probably the one that bit him, because like I would imagine that ant's like biting into him, so he probably is just like pulling it up and like smacking that ant. Let's see, and that's an 11 to hit.
Nope, that misses it then.
All right, so his staff just he hits the exoskeleton and just kind of bounces off you.
And you're going to move away from it?
And I'd like to move 10 feet away.
It's going to, as you move away, it's going to try to bite you though.
I was doing like a fighting retreat. Is that still?
Yeah, I mean, White Box don't really have rules, but I'm going to.
Well, if it does that, then I'm not going to move away. I mean, I don't want it to.
Yeah, you would know is with it right on top of you. If you try to move away, it's going to get you.
Okay, well
a chance of trying to get you.
I'm not going to move away. Then.
You're going to stay there, okay?
Yep.
Yep, you miss it, but we're back to you, Sam and Steph.
Sammy's gonna let out a couple more arrows, aimed at the smaller one.
All right.
And right after that, he's gonna grab his shield and place himself between Bumber Stump and the attackers. So let me go ahead and attack. He gets 19 plus.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a hit. The other one I got 15. So,
15 will hit it. This one, it will hit this one.
Excellent. Okay, so I do 3 points of damage and 2 points of damage.
So 5 total. Yeah, you shoot 2 arrows into the one that's right on Bumber, trying to eat him. And you see it kind of falter down, but it stands back up. But you can tell you've definitely weakened it.
Yeah. So now that's done, he's gonna just grab his shield and place himself between that creature and Bumber Stump.
All right. What would Steph like to do?
Okay, so she's going to see whichever one that he just shot at is the one she's going for.
Yep,
She's
that's fine.
She's actually, since she's not in combat, she's going to actually step as far away as she can and still be within range of the sling. So she's going to back up a little bit because.
Okay.
Actually, if possible, because I'm near the fire, I'm going to try to put the fire between me and the ant, and then I'm just
All right.
thief. 14 plus 3 is 17. That's what I rolled last time.
Yep, that hits that one.
Oh my god, another 6.
Good Lord, what do you do to this one to keep it off from eating Bumber, man?
Yeah, so I see that it's biting at Bumber, and I just whip, and it kind of like the arrows had penetrated it and kind of started to crack the exoskeleton, and when the stone hits it, it just like breaks it open completely, and the guts start pouring out. It's like a smushed ant, but not smushed.
Yep,
What
you
kind
see
of bullet are you using?
These are
Really?
stones. They're lead, I guess.
the big one that is standing very next to the hound, the leader, what you would think would be the leader, is going to stand strong. So it's going to turn towards. It's going to turn towards you, Bumber. It's not worried about the hound, evidently. So it's going to try to.
Didn't Young put himself between us? Or is he just ignoring Young?
He's ignoring everybody but you.
Okay, okay.
You look tasty.
Oh God, a nat 20.
Oh,
Okay.
You'll take 5 points of damage as it bites into you. This big one.
Ow.
And speaking of that, we are up to you, Bumber.
Okay, I'm going to do something smart like I should have done the first time. Well, first, Bumber will say, Virus, get this ant, and Virus will attack first. Let's see, but on a 2, that ant kind of kicks Virus away with his back foot. And then Bumber Stump Fumble Snatch is then going to begin to wiggle his fingers around his magical staff, and he calls upon the powers of nature, and as he kind of holds the staff into the air, this like green light begins to spin around him, and it grows up into this big form, and he becomes a giant centipede.
All right.
And then I'm gonna attack I'm gonna attack him as the giant centipede.
All right. Let's see if we can find the stats on giant centipede.
There's 3 of them. There's a small, a medium, and a large. So I'll let you determine. Let's see. The small.
I'm going to say it's the medium. I mean, it says man size. I mean, so we're halfling size.
20 foot long, I think, is too big. So, it's all up to you anyway. But
Yep. So you're going to use your shape changer as a druid to change into that. And,
so do I get the HP of the animal as well?
Yeah. Let me see. I'll roll it for you real quick.
Okay.
Well, we'll just take the average. You'll have 8. It's 2 HD, so you'll have 8 HP.
Okay, 8 HP.
4. Yep. And your armor class is 14.
Yep. All right. And so then I will bite this ant, or attempt to anyway.
All right.
It didn't say how much damage the bite does. I assume it's just a D6. But also it can poison the target. 17 should hit.
Yeah, that hits this big ant.
And he'll take 4 damage, and then he needs.
Yeah, I'm going to make a saving throw.
Yeah, save for poison.
Oh, it's going to miss its saving throw with a 2 on the die. So you see it chitter chatter and fall to the ground. Is evidently whatever you just bit into it as a centipede, you poisoned it and killed it.
All right, nice.
Nice.
He'll begin to consume it then.
It's a centipede, okay?
Yep.
Ew. Sam looks at that sight and he shivers.
Now you wonder what he's putting in that stew every night. You don't hear any more noises. Everything goes to quiet. The 2 that run away evidently run back towards the forest, as far as you know. Everything is quiet and peaceful right now.
I think I'm gonna skip breakfast.
yeah.
And you know Bumper Sam Steph, whatever your name is. You know that you can take a turn, which is 10 minutes, and bind your own wounds if you want to for a D6 HP back.
Yeah. How long can I stay transformed? Hold on, let me read the rules on that real quick.
I don't really think I said, did I? I mean, it's just, well, no, 1 hour. You got 1 hour maximum. Or until dispelled.
Okay. You know what? I'll just stay a centipede for now, and I will worry about binding my wounds later. I mean, because this is basically having like 8 temporary hit points. So
yeah, so if you want to stay back for the full maximum hour, you can do that. Nothing happens during that hour.
Okay, and then afterwards, I'll go ahead and bind my wounds. And
I'm not comfortable with you staying a centipede for an hour. Just so you know. She's sitting really close to the fire with a stick in her hand.
Yeah. He's not gonna like get too close to you since you seem uncomfortable with his centipede form.
Yeah.
But I mean, he enjoys nature, and centipedes play their part just like every other insect and animal.
Mm-hmm.
So and he will consume both of the ants while he's a centipede.
Oh.
I think I'm gonna skip dinner too.
Oh, jeez.
And and then once his hour is up and he binds his wounds, he gets back 4 hit points.
All right.
Again, he did that just like once a day, or
The bind wounds, you use it once a day, so you'd have to wait till the end of this next day to use it again. It's coming because it's you're looking at it's probably by now about 2 hours to to daybreak itself, sunrise.
All right, I'm back up to 14. All right, now I got 4 back, so I'm back up to 13.
And the sun will rise on day 4. I guess Steph, maybe did you and Sam try to get some more rest?
Yeah, I mean, if I could, that was after the centipede is done doing its thing, she'll roll back down to sleep. I'm not sleeping when that thing's eat a centipede and then also eating the ants. I can't imagine.
Sam looks at Bumper Stump's stomach, to see how large it is right now.
I don't know if you'd be able to tell in the centipede. But he's a man-sized centipede, so pretty big.
He's gonna go up to Bumper Stump and says, "So, how did those ants taste?"
Pretty good. As a centipede, I'm fairly sure I wouldn't have liked them had I not been a centipede.
Yeah. Just let us know when you're gonna turn into those centipedes or some strange creature.
I mean, if something is attacking me, I do to defend myself. I can turn into many forms.
Could you turn into a cow? Because I haven't had milk in a few days now, and I like to have a nice glass before I go to bed.
Well, I could, but I am Mel, so I would only turn into a bull.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Well, what do you want?
I'm sure a
Mama,
female
that'd
could
be
turn into a
quick.
cow, but
Can
I
he?
mean, I don't think they'd be able to produce milk unless they were pregnant or something.
You gonna listen for him outside?
What if you were a chicken? Would you
Hey,
let him?
baby.
I'd be a rooster because I'm a male. So no.
Love you.
Also, when you move a rooster to or a chicken to a new place, it usually takes a few days before they start laying eggs. So I've never
you gonna
asked a
listen?
female, that has the powers that I have. So I never. I don't know if that rule applies.
Fascinating. She throws up a little bit in her mouth.
But yeah, y'all start out day 4 then as you enter and follow the map, knowing that probably sometime today you hope that you'll be close to where the map is leading you in the Wolf Hickory Woods and hopefully start finding the old temple of Boz, you hope.
Steph is going to, before we go into the woods, she's going to have sorted out some of that flour that she has into a couple small bags. And she's going to give it to the others. She's going to say, if we're put upon by invisible foes, toss this in the air and cover them, and it will help us see them.
That's a good idea.
It's high gluten. It's also good for making bread.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah.
Yep, y'all enter the forest then, and it changes as far as it's more quiet. I mean, you hear some of the creatures of the forest. Of course, the druid would probably pay more attention to that, but you know, as you enter, it's quiet. I mean, you follow this trail. Your pony and your hound and all that are still able to go somewhat. It's not very thick yet. But as you three do, everybody roll me a d6. If you get a 1 or a 2, let me know.
I got 2.
All
I
right.
also got 2.
All right.
5.
Sam, roll me a d100.
All
I
right,
got a
here we go.
monster counter. I got a monster counter. I got a rock.
I got 17.
17. Oh, wow. As you're riding along, Sam, you see out in front of you first, you see what appears to be a large granite stone that is just in the forest floor and look like, it's probably part of it's buried in the ground itself. It's maybe 5-6 feet wide of this large granite stone as you're approaching it.
Ooh, that's strange. What could that be? It's just a granite?
What color is it?
Yeah, it's like a dark gray.
Does it look polished?
Nope, you can tell it's aged. I mean, it's patinaed part of it and worn from just weathered.
Okay. Yeah, he says,
Maybe it's a part of a ruin. If we look carefully around, maybe we'll find an entrance.
As you point that out to him, Sam, Steph, you roll me a D100.
Oh, 89.
89. As he's pointing that out, at that granite stone, you're thinking, of course, with your skills and stuff, you will notice this, of course, way before Sam or Bummer would. You appear what appears to be laying at the bottom of this large granite stone as it's going into the ground. You see something shining, appears to be gold colored.
I will get down and take a closer look. I've got a pair of tongs that I pull out, and I'm going to reach down and pick it up with the tongs if I can, if it's something small enough.
Yeah, it's probably a smaller size rock, but as you start pulling it out of the ground, it appears to be a chunk of gold, from what you can tell at this point.
I take it and hold it up in the light, and I say, "Oh, this looks to be gold."
And as soon as you say the word gold, you hear 2 arrows hit in the ground next to you all, and you hear this female voice go, "What are the little ones doing in the forest of the elves?" And you turn and you see this female elf with this long bow as she's walking towards you.
Oh, my tomatoes aren't growing right, and I have to be here because if my tomatoes don't grow right, then that everyone will beat me in the contest this year, and I just can't have that.
Sam raises his hand and says,
I am Sam Furfeet from the Hobbit's town. I'm on a quest. I'm on a quest for the Sunriser.
When you say the word sunriser, she stops walking towards you and she starts getting another arrow out of her quiver. Roll me what's your charisma?
the charisma is 15.
Roll me 3d6 on your charisma.
Okay, I rolled 8. So yeah, I roll it well under it.
She starts to knock the arrow and then she hesitates as she looks towards you, Sam, and she goes, The sword you speak of, who has sent you in search of it?
Our town elder Vine Birdsong sent us. We're supposed to bring it back and display it as it's part of our heritage.
She puts the arrow back in the quiver and she slings her bow. And she says, I believe the place that you search for, I can assist you by finding it. It has been hidden for many, many years. Only a few of us, the legend was passed down. Only a few of us know. And she walks towards you and she looks at you, Steph, as you're holding it. I guess you're still holding that chunk of gold. And she says, a dear child, one of my brothers put that there. That's fool's gold. It's not real, child. And as you say that, she pulls out this dagger very swiftly and makes a mark across it before you can even see. And you see her scrape away the gold coating on top of this dull gray rock.
I see. So it only glimmers on the surface, like so many things in life.
Exactly.
Wow, Steph, that was
You know what doesn't just glimmer on the surface, though? My tomatoes, when they're grown properly, glimmer through and through, they do.
Say, what is your name? Yeah, he asks her.
You would never be able to pronounce my name, little man. In Elvish, of course, even if you speak the language, but you may call me Hallie.
Well, Hallie, there is something that we found a couple of nights ago. We were traveling around, and while we were resting, we found this strange crate. I found a warning sign on it. It was a bunch of these papers. Maybe you could take a look at it. If it's something valuable, you could maybe reward us.
You're going to show her the parchment?
We're all dead now.
Yeah, he's gonna nudge at Bumper Stump and Steph.
Come on, show it to her.
Bumper Stump is going to look at you like you're an idiot. And then he's going to say, well, I have no earthly idea what you're talking about.
Oh, remember that Elvish
No, I don't.
scroll?
I don't remember.
I remember you
Eggplant
putting
for
it right
you.
there in that leather pouch.
No more eggplant for you.
Steph will pull the leather pouch down and say, yes, the rotted crate that we found. I almost forgot about that. And I'll show the elf the papers.
She delicately goes through them and she says, I believe this will serve as payment to me to return to my elders for me to show you the location of what you seek.
Perfect.
Well, it's only proper. It's not ours.
Of course. Why would we take what isn't ours?
She doesn't wait. She starts bounding through the forest and she says, you will have to keep up with me though, as she leads you further into the forest.
Right behind you.
And then you see Sam Furfeet running after her.
Steph contemplates what the exact procedure would be to get a backstab on Sam, and then follows.
Yeah, Bumper Snatch begins to kind of like wiggle his fingers, and the vines in the trees sort of twitch as he does so, and contemplates how quickly he could choke the life out of Sam using these vines. And then he shakes his hand away and whistles for Virus to follow on.
Hallie leads you further into the forest for quite a ways. She stops every once in a while to wait for you all to catch up, and she says, "We must move faster if you want to get there before dark. I can show you the location of what you seek, but I cannot stay myself." And she turns and bounds further into the forest as she leads you there. And the day goes by uneventful. You have to eat on a run. She doesn't stop at all. She continues further in. And by late that afternoon, she comes to a stop, and you see her get on the ground, and she starts with her hands kind of uncovering some of the vines and the growth and stuff. And you start seeing what appears to be like a stone staircase that goes down into the ground. She says, I believe this is the temple that you seek for the object that you seek. I wish you well. And she turns to bound into the forest, and unless anybody responds to her.
Well, take care, Hallie. Thanks a lot for helping us find this place. You've been great.
Bumberstump looks at Steph and says, "But do you want to bet that when we come out, there's a team of elves waiting to take the sword away?"
Oh, don't be ridiculous. She could have fought us if she wanted to.
Well, we haven't recovered the sword yet. Numbskull.
Well, it was easier to find it with a guide. Besides, you heard the rumors. If you're going to the forest, then seldom do people come out. I bet that was because of these elves.
No, it's because there's a Stilla who watches over these woods. Black Dragon, remember?
Oh, yeah. Well, we're here. So, should we go in?
Yes, lead the way.
Huzzah! Onward!
He unsheaths his sword and, he marches into the temple.
Yep, you dismount and start down into the ground. You can secure your horses up. Of course, the hound can go if you want Bumber, but the horses and stuff will have to stay. You start descending into the dark there. Light sources, who's leading the way?
Don't halflings have infravision
No.
or like
No.
dark vision? No?
I have thought about giving them this after DCC does, but not yet. I haven't done it yet. But no, rules is written. They don't have it.
No, halflings can't see in the dark.
Okay. Well, Sam's going to look back and say, I don't have a torch.
Steph pulls out a hooded lantern, fires it up. She then attaches it to her belt. He's quickly set aflame.
And flames go everywhere.
Yeah, she has a hooded lantern. She fires it up.
I can't see anything. Hold it up.
Yep, y'all start down, and you would think you go probably 30 feet down into the ground itself. As you go down, and you start seeing with the hooded lantern, you start seeing an opening of a room that you would think would be about your lantern will probably not cover it all, but it seems to be what you would think at least 40 by 50 feet wide or so, maybe at this point.
Okay.
And let's take about a 3 to 5 minute battle break real quick, and we'll come back as y'all enter what you have been shown, hopefully truthfully, is the old Temple of Boz, where the rumored sunrisers to be. We'll come back in about 3 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, I'm back.
I'm here.
I'm here as well.
All right. The throne of Boz and the lair of Cecilia.
I'm back.
All right. Sam, you making friends with the elves?
Yep. Yeah, that elf was pretty good looking, so I just couldn't resist.
And our thief is back also.
Oh yeah, no, you didn't hear me. Yeah, I
Oh,
was.
no, I didn't. I'm sorry, I did not.
I think I was the first one when you first said it. I said it, and then Crystal said it right after me.
Oh, I didn't. Nope, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
All right, then.
I had already snuck out in the between.
You have snuck back, huh?
Yeah, I snuck back. You know, thief.
Yeah, y'all see this room, and as you enter down probably 30 feet into the ground of what you would think is the right place, you hope. As you maneuver into the room, the large entrance, and kind of look around, you notice in the northwest, we'll say you're going north, of course, the easiest, but the northwest corner appears to be a lot of crumbled rock and a lot of the crumbled stuff that has caved in through the years. You notice a door to the right, to the east, a door to the left, to the west. And also, you see a door going straight north out of this room. All of them are closed.
Okay. And the room is too big for the one lantern to light the whole room.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of catch the outline of all of the room, but it is a pretty big room.
Okay, so we gotta stick together then. Basically, that's why I'm asking.
Yep.
I'd say let's. I had heard that all good adventurers always go to the right.
Sam says, right. And then goes to the door on the right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna position myself kind of. You've got the door to the north and door to the west. So I'll put myself with the lantern kind of between those two doors, so I can light up the two areas. And then I'm gonna put the lantern on the ground. I'm gonna walk actually to the north and listen to that door while Sam does the thing to the right.
All right, make your thievery check, then.
Okay. Oh, we got a 1. Aha.
Yeah, you just hear maybe the rustling of some of wind maybe coming out or whatever. I mean, everything else seems to be quiet.
Okay. So once I feel like that's secure, then I'll nod to Sam to do whatever he's going to do to the west door.
East door, wasn't it, Sam, that you went?
Yeah,
Hey,
it's the
sorry,
east
yeah,
door.
sorry.
The one on the right. Taking
All right.
taking the advice of Steph. Yeah, so he puts the hand on the door and gently tries to push it open.
Yeah, and it's actually unlocked as you start pushing it open. It's a heavy wooden door, and you push it open, and it opens on the hinges inward, and you peer in, and you see a room that you would think it's dark, but you can see outlying of probably this was some type of sleeping quarters or whatever. Because you didn't light a torch or anything, did you, Sam? Or any?
Yeah, probably not.
No, yeah, he could only see whatever illumination that the lamp is giving him.
Yeah,
Lantern.
which is very little from where it's at. So you see what you consider some type of sleeping quarter. You see cots or beds or whatever in this room.
He turns back and says,
I don't see anything. I'm gonna walk in there now. Could you illuminate the room?
Yeah, Steph will pick up the lantern and follow behind.
As you move in, Steph, what are you doing, Bumber? Are you walking in with them?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of stay towards the back, and I'm gonna keep Virus sort of beside me as we enter into the room.
All right. Yeah, as you illuminate the area, you can definitely tell this was some type of sleeping quarters. As you see beds and cots lined up, of course, the linens and all that are well moth-eaten and all that from the centuries of it's been here. But at this point, that's all you see. That's the room with some type of sleeping quarters.
I'm gonna kind of squat down, kind of bring the lantern lower if we can see under the beds. I'm looking for any kind of like footlocker or anything like that might be treasure.
You can. As soon as you look under the first bed, you see lying on the ground there, appears to be in pristine condition, is a hand axe.
Oh.
It's not dust covered or nothing.
I say to them, oh, remember earlier when I was looking for an axe? I think I found it. And I'm going to pull those tongs out, and I'm going to snag the axe with the tongs and bring it closer to me.
Yeah, and it looks like it was just laying there, hours ago. I mean, it's pristine looking, and the wooden handle on it and stuff. I mean,
I'll pick it up in my good hand and see if it feels good to the touch.
Roll me a that's it. Well, just roll me a d6.
Okay.
We'll keep it simple.
3.
Yeah, you get a little tingle from it.
Ooh. The spirits must be with us. Was this a halfling base, right? Not an elven base.
This was you would have known probably it was a combination of halflings and some humans also, but maybe the main priest back then would have been human, but it was mostly halflings too.
Okay, but not elves. Okay.
Yep, no elves, correct.
Okay. So with that in mind, she looks at the axe and she says, okay, well, Sam, the next elf that we run into, let's not tell them that we found something.
Well, if you insist, no problem.
Good boy.
And I just sent you a message, Steph, about that axe.
Oh, okay, cool. I will, oh, nice. I will, I'm assuming that I didn't see anything to the rest of the beds.
Yeah, y'all search the rest of the room. Everything else is, what all the linens, like I say, have just been moth-eaten and then just, from age, and there's nothing else that you find anything at all.
Okay. She'll hold on to the axe for now, unless somebody takes claim to it. Let me put that in my weapons.
Sam heads out to the corridor.
Yep, you go back to the main room, okay.
Yeah, and then he's going to go across the corridor into the opposing door.
The west side is the same, it's the same type of door, a large wooden door. It is closed.
Yeah, is there a latch or a doorknob?
Yeah, same thing. You open it, it opens right up. And as you peer in this room, it appears to be about the same size. I guess I'm taking it that, Steph, you come across with the lantern and all that?
Yeah, I'm
all right, sure. This room appears to have a bunch of, and most of them are just, you can tell from my age, are just rotten or whatever, a bunch of old wooden crates in wooden boxes. Maybe this was some kind of storage room. And you start noticing a lot of the symbol. Y'all wouldn't know much about the sun god Boz. I mean, it's not a god that's served anymore, but you can just see stuff maybe from stories you've been told that maybe a lot of this was storage and items relating to the temple.
Sam approaches one of those crates or barrels and opens one up and takes a peek inside.
Yep, and roll me a D100 if you do that.
Yeah, 79.
Ooh.
Yeah, let me get down there. You find in one of them, like I say, everything appears to have been, either just eaten or whatever. Maybe you don't know if it's ever been ransacked before here or not, but you actually find a couple of small ivory teeth that you can tell probably these teeth come off some type of a mammal or something. They're still in pretty good condition, Sam.
Excellent. He holds him up and says,
"Yeah, I will send you a quick message about him too."
"Yeah." He holds him up and says, "Ooh, look what I found!" And he shows him to Bumberstump and Steph.
Ooh. Put him in your mouth.
I'm not gonna put some strange ivory teeth in my mouth. Come on. I don't know. It could be a treasure. Maybe you want to hold on to it, Steph?
She kind of looks back and forth. Sure. And she puts it in the bag.
Yep.
Bumble Stump? What do you think?
I'm not sure how valuable ivory teeth could be. That seems a little gross to me.
Well, there are a whole bunch of other barrels in here. Maybe we could all take a look inside.
I suppose. And yeah, Bumberstump will take a look in one of the barrels.
All right. Roll me a D100.
Okay. Let's see here. 18.
18.
A bag of holding full of gold.
I will send you a message on what you found, and you can describe it how you want to. Because this is something you would know what it is by looking at it, or at least you may not know the
holding. And it's
you may not know the
full of
exact
gold.
you may not know the exact components, but you would know definitely what it's used for.
Okay, all right. Sorry.
All right, there you go.
I'll also look one.
Yep, same thing, Steph. D100.
Since we're searching, might as well. 70.
70, okay.
A goblin.
He jumps out. Hey!
And it's actually a pet goblin.
Well, I mean, I did rescue him.
Yeah.
My name is Toby.
I did find a small pouch. I'm going to describe it as a small bag of holding full of gold.
Nice.
And that's what you found, Steph. I'll send you a message.
I mean, an empty bag of holding is the worst thing.
Yeah.
That's nice. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, I take that. Oh, this is glorious. And it's a sable, like a pelt. And I hang it from my belt like a fancy lady.
Nice. Yeah. Bumberstump shows you this small, blue bag, and it has like an arcane symbol in it. And like if you were to touch it, it feels it would feel almost like maybe touching a say a water ball or something, like almost like something inside of it is like, it feels like liquidy and like formless. And he says, yes, I've seen one of these before, I believe. Like a friend of mine a wizard friend of mine used to have one. Whenever he would use the liquid inside, he could use it for some of his spell components. It'll be useful later. Maybe give it to a wizard or something.
Is everything that you do gross? First you're trying to ascend and eat the ants. Now you have
yes,
gross liquid.
Yes, so you say to me after Sam found some teeth and asked you to hold on to them.
Oh, those were ivories. And you never know. Some people could carve them and make them into nice little stuff.
They were dentures, I think.
Well, let's move on. We're here to look for our sword.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
and also Bumber, that -2, the giant ant deal, it's gone by now. You feel back to yourself, if I forgot to tell you.
Okay. Awesome.
I'm sorry. Every time anything is squishy or gross now, I'm going to immediately think of you eating ants. So I apologize. But yeah, please don't do that again.
Bumbersup, are you going to turn into another centipede in here?
If need be.
I mean, why not into a lion?
Hey, maybe you can turn into a centipede and let me ride? We could be like
No.
the
Oh.
dynamic
No.
charging monster.
No, you shall not ride me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well. All right. Let's go. And then he heads out to the corridor and taking the advice again, goes over to the right side.
You've
This
already
is going to
been.
end with
Not
just
that one.
totally.
The other one. He's going to go a few
North,
steps
you want
up.
to go north on the map
Yep.
to where the door that staff listened to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you're going to open it. It's the same type of door.
Okay. And he's going to peer in to see if there's anything in there.
It appears to be a very long hallway, maybe 10 feet wide. Maybe 20 feet up, you start seeing some of the crumbling rock and part of the wall that has fallen in. You can see that y'all can, being halflings yourself, you can make it around it. But it appears to be a very, very long hallway.
Yeah. He's going to turn back and let him know. It's a long hallway. Do we want to go over there?
It seems that I mean, if I were building a temple and I was going to store a weapon in it, I would probably put it in the deepest part of the temple.
All right,
That's
then.
right
He
ahead.
takes out the short bow, and then he has that. He has a couple of arrows knocked, and starts walking that way.
Yeah. Steph will pull the lantern hood up so we have as much light as possible, and she'll walk, next to if possible, or otherwise slightly behind. So we can
Yep,
give
y'all move up, roughly 40 feet, you would think. And the hallway continues. You see it continues way out of your light as if you kept going. But as you move up 40 feet, you see two more doors, one to the east, one to the west.
Now, just as a general meta thing, do we think, like, are we worried that there's going to be, like, is this temple evil? I mean, or are we assuming it's like a positive thing?
Oh no, you would think this is definitely would have been a lawful temple. I mean, they may have of course, taken precautions to prevent anything happening evil, but no, you would know this would have been a lawful.
All right, so in that case, I'm going to say, as much as I would like to maybe see if we could find more interesting trinkets, I think we should head deeper into the temple and locate the sword.
Yeah, Sam's gonna say, but I thought this was part of the temple.
Right, but she just doesn't say anything and walks up to the door on the right and listens.
Yeah, the door on the right, you can listen. Roll your thievery deal.
Well, you got one again.
Yeah, same thing. You're pretty confident that you don't hear anything in there.
She listens, and she steps back and she kind of like flourishes her hand and points at the door.
Yeah, Sam opens it.
Knowing that it's not worth arguing with him.
Sam, you open the door and you peer into a room that appears to be maybe 15 foot wide, and it goes probably just out of your lantern light, maybe or so. It appears to be over 30 feet in length. But what you notice is it's empty as far as you can tell, but you notice a lot of cave in of the walls have caved in. I mean, this room is more or less given back to the cavern in itself, but it appears to be empty from what you can tell.
He's gonna turn back to Steph and say, "So, you think this is like a hallway leading out of the temple?"
Oh, what do you mean? This here? I think it's a room that collapsed. She's gonna look up into the ceiling, make sure that no like giant centipedes are gonna fall on her head. And if none fall on her head or she doesn't see any, then she's gonna walk into the crumbled area and see if she can figure out if this looks like it would have progressed into a tunnel or if it's a room.
Yeah, once you look, it appears that it's a natural fall in of the temple itself, the rock and stuff. It appears that there may be a passageway, but it appears to be, it's nothing that was hidden passageway or nothing that was part of a temple. Maybe it was dug out by some type of creature or something.
Okay. So I turn back to Sam and say, well, there might be a path out of here, but it would be digging through the dirt, probably from some kind of a giant insect or something like that. This isn't a natural. This isn't a formed part of the temple, so I don't think there's anything worth exploring here.
Yeah, I agreed. Let's go back the way that we came from.
Okay. So Steph will walk back out into the hallway and see Bumble there, and walk past and check the door on the left. I guess he'll listen again.
Yeah, and also as you're doing that, maybe looking up the hallway to the north, it appears probably 30 feet, 35 feet on up, that there's probably going to be a couple more doors that you can see out of the range up there if once you continue. But if you go to the left door and listen,
Mhm.
you don't even have to roll. I'm just going to, you don't hear anything.
All right.
So
Yeah.
just be silent.
She once again points at the door and says, "All right, it doesn't sound like there's anything in there. Let's take a peek."
Yeah.
You open it, Sam?
Yeah, Sam opens it.
You open it, appears to be the same size of room as the one you just come from. There's no crumbling of walls or anything. You appear at the very edge and end of this room. It appears to be more boxes and crates, but kind of when you step in, you get the feel of something on your face as you've walked into some spider webs. And as you look in the corner, you see just a vast array of various aged spider webs. And you look up at the top of the ceiling and you see an opening that goes up. But at this point, that's all you see.
Ooh, spider webs. I don't like to deal with spiders.
Oh,
Leave
There's
this
nothing
place.
wrong with
you're a big
spiders.
warrior.
Oh, come on. If you want to turn into a spider or something and explore the area, then I would say go right ahead. But I don't know. I don't feel
Spiders wouldn't
with-
react friendly to other spiders invading their territory.
no.
Why would I do that?
Yeah. Don't spiders eat one another? That's what I heard.
It's been known to happen.
I'm gonna look at the. I'm gonna step in once he describes that to me. I'm gonna step in a little bit and see if I can. How big is this hole in the ceiling? Is it like a chimney?
It's pretty big. I mean, it's pretty wide.
Okay. So at that, I say, once again, this looks like it could be a tunnel in and out by some kind of an insect that might burrow. I don't think that's something we want to deal with. Do you? Those ants.
Not I.
Yeah. So I step back out and close the door.
Hey, Bumberstump, Steph, what do you say if we go back to the original hallway that we're in?
That's where we are. Literally in the original hallway.
Yeah.
Are you all right? She tries to slap you in the face, but she can't reach you because she's only 2.5 foot tall and you're 4 foot tall. But Steph, being a thief, breathes and she says, there was crates and stuff at the end of that room with the spider webs. I mean, the sword could be there. So wait here for me. And she puts down the lantern and she's going to put the lantern right in the door. She's going to try to move, like get low and kind of make her way as quietly as possible.
Sam is gonna knock a couple arrows
Yeah,
in
towards those crates.
on his bow, and then he's gonna tell her, "I'll cover you."
Okay, good. Don't touch the webs if you can avoid it. Can I get low enough so that the webs aren't touching me, or do they go all the way?
Yeah, you could find a way you can maneuver yourself over there. Bumper, are you staying in the hallway?
Yeah, Bumberstump is going over all the animals in his head that could possibly take care of a spider.
Listen, I'm a thief. I can't help it. There's crates over there.
All right, Steph, you make your way over there and start looking around, looking for a sword or whatever. Roll me a D100 twice, separate results.
Okay. 85 and 23.
85 and 23, okay. I am going to send you a message on what you find, and that way you can handle it if you want to share it, not share it, whatever.
Hey, Tony, I got a quick question while you're typing that up.
All right, I'm trying to listen. Go ahead.
Okay, so the druid powers say that I can shapeshift into the form of a reptile, bird, or mammal once per day. And it says like or mammal. So could I potentially become a minotaur?
Nope. It gives examples on there. I would rule against being a minotaur. That would not be something you would
Yeah, it
probably know
said
about.
or mammal. So I figured I'd give it a try.
I should have known you'd be the one.
Yeah. No, she's gonna be a storm giant.
Ah,
What about a dragon? That's a lizard, right?
I actually was looking at wyvern.
Oh, nice. All right. So you hear Steph giggle a little bit and slip a couple things into her pouch, and then she gets down on her belly and crawls back out of the room. Hopefully, without a spider falling on her head.
No
yep,
sword?
you're able to get back through the edge of the webs.
Yeah, and when she gets out and she closes the door and feels like it's safe, she's going to reach out and pull. She pulls out an egg about the size of a robin's egg, and it looks like it's made of gold. And you see a big smile.
Ooh.
Make sure it's not more of that false gold.
Yeah, we go back to the elves who are sitting around the camp laughing, going, I wonder if they found that fake egg yet.
Oh, suddenly like gets sad for a second. Then she takes her fingernail and tries to scrape it. Does it seem
Yeah,
like-
and it is heavy. You can tell that it's probably genuine.
yeah. So she puts it back, and then she says, and then when we get the sword and on our way back, we can celebrate with this. And she pulls out this kind of pipe that she found, and she says, "There's even tobacco in it."
Woohoo!
So she's pretty psyched about that. And then she says, "All
I
right."
wonder if it's Lotus in a place like this. Seems like the place a Lotus user would go.
Well, it's probably good pipe weed because we're halflings, and it's a halfling thing.
So,
But yeah, if you're back out in the main hallway and look north, probably 20 feet above, there appears to be another door to the right and a door to the left, east and west, and the hallway continues. You would think probably at least another 30 feet past that, about from what you can see on.
All right. So I mean, we'll move up to those two doors, and once again, I'll listen at the one on the right.
Yeah, just roll one deal for both of them. Be fine.
Okay. All right. 3. So that's a
Yeah,
fail.
you're very confident. There's nothing.
Yeah, she listens. She's like, yeah, both these doors are. I think this whole place is pretty empty, guys. But I guess if you want to check it, Sam, go for the right first. And she kind of stands back with the lantern in her hand, waiting.
How about we just go straight ahead? I have a feeling that our sword might be waiting in the final chamber. That
Is
way.
that what I said 2 chambers ago? You just made me go through all this. You're checking these out.
All right.
he opens the door that's on the right.
Yeah, you open the door, and it seems to be the same size of the other 2 rooms you just come from. You don't see anything visible except more spider webs, and this room has a bunch more spider webs than the previous one did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's not go in there. I'm not too thrilled about spiders,
Yeah, I don't see any crates or anything. So okay, she closes the door. All right. This one. We'll
He
see
opens the opposing door.
The opposing door appears to be the same size room, roughly 15 by maybe 35, 40 feet in length. It appears to be empty itself, pretty much almost, but no spider webs in this one.
Huh. Like unusually clean or just empty?
Just empty.
Okay.
Sam goes in there and searches the room.
All right, roll me a d6.
I got 3.
You got a 3. You don't find anything.
Yep.
Just empty room, I suppose.
Okay. I mean, there could be dozens of chambers like this, so let's just keep going. And then she picks up the lantern and starts to head north.
Yep, you go probably 30 feet, we'll say, roughly. As you do, you come to a very large wooden door. And I mean, this one's very much wider. It's 10 feet wide across the whole hallway, and it's closed. And you notice it has some type of religious symbols and stuff on it.
Yeah, so Steph kind of squints at it and then turns around and looks at the druid. What do you make of this? Wood priest.
Could the druid look? Is this anything the druid would know about?
I will give you a chance. Roll a d6.
Okay. A 1.
You look at the symbols and stuff, and maybe take your time, and you're thinking about your turnips and your tomatoes, and you want to find this sword so you can get back and make them grow better. And something just kind of maybe something you read or heard that you're pretty sure that this is something to do with Boz, the sun god.
Well, I'm not 100% sure. Religion isn't my forte, You'd have to go talk to Father Forrest Ever about that. But I'm pretty sure that this symbol here represents Boz, the old sun god.
Well, then I'm convinced that the sword is in there because we're after the Sunriser after all.
That's
Right?
true.
Indeed.
You make a good point there, Sam. Let me just listen here first. And I'm going to lean against the door and listen.
All right.
Oh, 1.
Yeah, you're pretty confident. Nothing. You don't hear anything. You can tell maybe by hearing, though, just from the natural sound, that you would think this is going to be a very large room. You can just get together. It's going to be a much larger room than any of the ones you've been in.
Okay, yeah. Huh. Seems there's a large chamber through this door. So you said the dragon was in this village, this town, right? Or this forest. So if we've encountered a room with the dragon yet, this is going to be it. She's going to heft the hand axe into her hand and the lantern and step back and to say, okay, let's do this.
All right, here we go.
And then Sam grabs the handle of the door and tries to pull it open.
You try to pull it open and nothing happens.
Try pushing it.
And he says,
Uh-oh, it's locked.
Are you sure? Try pushing it.
he tries to push it.
You push it, it opens.
Well, they should have wrote something down here on the door.
Those handles that they use are also confusing.
Yeah, that's what I say.
He opens it and walks in.
And you see a very large room. You would think this room would be, roughly 50 by 50, or, I mean, you can't see all of it, but there's a couple of things as you all three enter and maybe disperse out a little bit. There's 3 things that you will see. You see a door to the right, to the east, about both of them in the middle of the room, about 30 feet up. You see a door to the west. And the very far north, you see what appears to be a wooden altar, but it comes down a good 10 feet and is 20 feet across. I mean, it makes a big deal. And you see all these tapestries up behind it of the sun. And you see things probably to Boz, the sun god. And there is something else you're going to see. Let me find my little picture.
It's a dragon.
Yeah, where did I put that black dragon at? You will see above the altar, you see suspended about a foot above, you see this sword that is outlying in almost in like this reddish flame as it's suspended about a foot above the altar.
It's floating, or it's
Yep, it's about just about a foot above, kind of floating above.
Well then,
Behold, the Sunriser.
He points at it with his mouth agape.
only a true hero can wield it. And Steph kind of steps back behind Sam.
But it is said that if you grab the sword, it's going to take over whoever's going to grab a hold of it.
Only if you have a weak mind. You can do it. I have faith in you, Sam.
Gulp. You audibly hear him like swallow hard. And Sam's going to actually approach the altar very carefully, like checking the steps.
Steph's going to walk up to you, and if you go to grab it, I'm going to stop you because I want to look at the altar first and see if it seems like there's something on the altar that's causing it to float. Like, is the altar
you look at that and nothing does, but as y'all approach and you see the tapestries that are hanging up and stuff, you start seeing it displaying of what you would know would be Bonecrusher. You could see him in battle and stuff, and you can see him wielding the sword, and you see the depictions of the Boz, the sun god, and all that. You can tell all these battle scenes and all this stuff. But Nova's sword is just there suspended about a foot above.
He's so dreamy.
Who?
I heard he was 4'1".
Boz?
Yeah.
Or Bonecrusher?
No, Bonecrusher. Boz is
Yeah.
son.
4'1". That's even taller than I am.
I know. That's what I heard. 4'1".
It's like a giant.
Halflings.
Yeah. That's like as tall as one of those long shag humans.
I know.
Bumber Stump pulls out a little wooden box and pulls a pinch of snuff and gives it a sniff. I think that's how you do that, right? As they're sitting there talking about this sword.
All right.
Perhaps you can turn into an elephant and grab it with your nose.
I don't think I can grow anything that large. How would you even know about elephants? Those are pretty rare animals, you know.
What? I can't go to school because I'm a thief? I'll have you know that the government granted me a decent amount of money after I lost my hand, and I was able to get a degree in animal science.
That's interesting.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Always judging. Always judging. Actually, how am I holding a lantern and the torch on one hand?
Maybe throw a hook.
You got a hook.
Like a little hook.
I must have something on my. Yeah, I probably have. It's not like an actual hook you can fight with, but there's probably like a little area you can grab stuff with.
Sam wonders.
Like a clip. You just clip it on there.
Clip, for the lantern.
Sam wonders how Steph picks her nose.
With the right hand.
Very carefully. All right. Yeah.
So realizing that, she suddenly is like, "Hold on, how do I have two things in my hand?"
He's gonna look to his friends and say, "You know what? If I grab the sword and if I go crazy, just don't mind me. Just leave me alone or don't worry about me, okay?"
So you're saying the sword makes you evil? The sword is a good sword.
Well, it is, but it said that it takes over your mind and that it makes you believe that greatness is only with you. So if I go crazy as some kind of a tyrant, that'll be bad, right?
That's true.
I don't think it would do that if it's a good sword.
Well, that's the reason why it was hidden for all these years.
Well, let's do this to be safe. And she reaches into her pouch and pulls out a set of manacles. And she.
Oh, you're gonna grab something else out now.
Yeah, well, I put down.
I like to imagine that, like, she just like removes the belts off of her little thing, and like she's actually had her hand this whole time.
Yeah, right. Her hands underneath. It's just like, oh, I just got to keep it. Yeah, no. She puts the lantern's got it's got a little clip, so she puts the lantern down. But she flips the bag off her shoulder and she pulls out a set of manacles, and she says, "We can manacle you, so that way, if you get crazy, we'll be able to subdue you."
You know what? I don't feel comfortable grabbing that sword after all. I don't think I'm the destined ruler or anything. What about we do this? He points at the tapestry and says,
Bumblestump, as he's going on and on about this, is just going to take his wooden staff, reach up, and pop the sword down.
Oh, jeez, you're going to hit the sword.
Yeah, when you hit the sword with your staff, nothing happens.
Well,
Oh,
I
it's
tried
still
to pop the
suspended in
sword
the air?
down, but nothing happened.
"Okay."
Can I reach it if I'm only 2.5 feet tall?
Yeah, I mean, if you go all the way up, I mean, you're just gonna have to go on tippy toes, but you could probably reach it.
Yeah. All right. Then Steph's just going to do it. She's going to be like, you know what? I guess it's time. It's about time for a woman to take a stand here. And then she puts down all the crap that she has, and she walks up with her one hand, and she's going to grab the sword.
but what about the manacles?
As soon as you grab it, make a saving throw, and you get +4.
Oh, geez. 15 plus 4 would be 19. So just a regular save? That's pretty good.
Yeah,
then.
as soon as you grab it and stuff, it disappears. I mean, the sword disappears, and all of you hear like a low rumbling, like just a very low rumbling as the sword disappears, and nothing else happens.
Hmm.
But
I turn towards the others.
Sam, you and Bumper both roll me a d6.
I got 3.
I got a 6. So they're really good or really bad.
Yep, nothing. Y'all don't notice anything.
I turn towards the other two and I say, I like deepen my voice a little bit and I say, I am Bonecrusher. All of the goodness is within me.
So wait, she is holding on to the sword, right?
Oh, disappear.
No, when she reached and grabbed the sword, it completely disappeared, and y'all heard like a low rumble.
Okay.
And she says, fear not. You can be my loyal servants.
Sam says, "Oh, by the furs on my feet, I think she's gone crazy."
I wouldn't say I'm crazy. Jeez, you really jumped to conclusions very quickly there, Sam. She says, walks out of
Steph?
the lantern and then walks over to one of the other doors.
Whew, I
You going
thought she
to
was going to
the
take over.
east or west door?
I'll go to the east. She says, clearly it was an illusion. I reached up and it disappeared.
When you go to that door, you will definitely notice it then. Above this door, you see this script written above the door on the wall. It's in Elvish.
Sam would read it.
You go up there, Sam, and I am going to send you a message of what you read in Elvish then.
You just read Power Word Kill. Make it
Do not touch the sword until you wash your hands first.
Yeah. Do not touch the sword if you have but one hand. For a great evil we put upon you.
How do you wash your head when you got only one hand?
Very carefully.
All right, Sam. That is what it says in Elvish, and you can handle it any way you want to.
Okay. He's going to actually read it. He says, "I am the sun, and I will rise to protect the people."
As soon as you finish reading it, the door poof, opens inward.
Woo! And Sam walks in.
Well done.
Well, that
You
was
walk-
convenient.
You walk in 5 feet, Sam, and you look to a room that appears to be maybe 20 by 40, we'll say. You see treasure everywhere. You see just a room full of treasure.
Whoa. He's going to look to Steph and says, "Steph, I think we found the jackpot.
Yeah,
But where's the sword?"
exactly.
He
Huh.
looks around looking for the sword.
Yeah, she's gonna look for the sword as well.
All right?
Yeah.
Y'all looking around. Describe to me more in detail about how you're looking around, please.
So I guess we'll split up. I mean, you can change this if you want, Young. She'll go like left and he'll go right or whatever. And she's gonna there's like piles of treasure and chests and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. I mean, there's just piles of stuff everywhere.
Yeah, she's gonna take her. She has a short sword, and she'll put away everything else. She's gonna pull out the short sword because that's the longest thing she has, and she's gonna kind of like start poking into the pile of gold and like using it like a shovel and like pushing it aside to try to see if there's something buried underneath the piles.
All right. How about you, Sam? How are you going to?
Sam, after reading that and walking in there, he thinks that maybe there's something strange going on. So he says, "I am Sam Furfeet from the Hobbit's town, and I'm here to claim the sword, Sunriser, which belonged to Bonecrusher, one of our people." And as he does so, he's like shouting this out, and he's wandering around, not touching the treasure, but only looking around for the sword.
All right. What about Bumble Pumble?
Bumble Pumble is going to let's see, he's gonna trying to figure out what he's trying to do right now. You know, I mean, those two are looking. He'll kind of look around in the general area where he's at. Maybe he kind of looks to Virus, like see if Virus has any ideas. But he's just gonna start like packing his pipe. He doesn't really know what to do right now.
All right. Sam, you and Steph, as you're poking around and looking through You see not any type of weapons or armor or anything. It appears to be all other type of objects and coins and stuff. You see nothing that resembles any sword.
Hmm. This is very interesting. Do I see any like gems that look like they're quite valuable? Because if so, I'll pocket one.
Oh yeah, you do. You see all kind of the different jewelry and gems and such. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be too greedy, but I'll just grab a few and put them in my pocket.
You put them in your pocket.
Yeah.
As soon as you do that, all of you hear this loud rumbling and this loud sound. In fact, the room starts kind of shaking and moving, but you hear the loudest rumbling and noise appearing to be coming back towards the entrance of where you come in.
Oh, perfect. I think I found the trick.
Uh-oh. Something bad is going to happen.
No, not
If Fumble Snatch stayed toward the entrance, kind of said he did. If he heard that noise, he's gonna get Virus to come to his side, and he's gonna go check out what's going on over there. He'll light up a torch so he can see.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long ways back, right?
Well, I mean,
you got the map, right?
Oh, you said it was. Was it coming back from the throne room? That's what I meant.
No, I said back to the entrance where you entered it, where you come in originally.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood where it was coming from.
Yeah, it's coming back towards the main entrance. Is where you heard the loudest ruckus and rumbling coming from.
Okay. No, he's not going to travel all that way back. He'll wait on the others.
Yeah.
I thought it was just. I thought when you said like the entrance, I thought you meant like it was coming back like from the entrance of the room we were in.
No.
I mean, at that sound and the going on, Steph would stand up and grab the lantern, and with her little hook, and say, "Sam, we probably should leave this chamber. You must have touched something." And
Don't look at me. I didn't touch anything. Let's get out of here.
And then he runs across the room to the other room.
If you go across to the other room, it has the same door with the same symbol above there written in Elvish.
Yeah, he's going to read that out loud one more time.
The door pops open. As you step in, you see a room almost identical to the one you just walked out of, with treasure piled up everywhere.
Yeah, he says,
Don't touch any of the treasures. Just look for the sword. That's why we're here after all. I don't want this whole place to crumble down.
and he's going to look around for the sword.
Yep, y'all can all look around, or however you want to do it. There's no sword to be found.
Uh-oh.
Steph, feeling like she might have done something wrong, is going to take the couple of gems that she took, and she's going to like when nobody's looking, she's going to toss them back into the pile.
Do you want to toss them in this room or go back to the room you got them from?
I'm going to walk back in the dark because I feel like I can, even though it's dark, I can get a sense we just walked across the room, right? So I'll leave the lantern in here while they're searching, and I'm just going to walk back across the room in the dark and throw it back in the original room.
All right. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay. And then she'll walk back to, and I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know if there's enough flickering light that she can see a little bit, but she's going to actually try to get on top of the altar.
When you walk back up to the altar, Steph, since those other two are in the room currently, you walk back up to the altar, and this is what you will see. Floating a foot above the altar is a sword again.
Huh. Is the sword shedding light?
Just very dim, very, very dim around the blade itself. And also roll me a d6, Steph.
Yeah. 3.
You hear in your mind, I mean, you don't know, maybe you think at first maybe it comes from someone standing there in the room since it's pretty dark, but you hear in your mind, I'll tell you what, I'll type it to you because you may want to handle it however you want to handle it.
Yeah.
Umberstomp finds some books about how to properly fertilize a field. As he's searching for treasure.
You find the Dummy's Guide to Tomato Growing.
And as he reads it, he's like, "Oh, well, that's terrible advice. You should never put carrots with tomatoes."
So Steph is gonna get down like on her hands and knees and just like feel around the base of the altar. She's trying to see if there's any like entrance or if there's like a.
I love these private messaging on here. Yeah, roll me a d6 or your thievery.
5. So that wasn't successful.
Yeah, around the area of the altar you're looking for, yeah, you're confident that you don't see any kind of secret entrances or doors or anything at all.
Okay. All right. So she's a little confused. She doesn't hear the voice anymore, right? She just heard the one time.
Yeah, you just hear it kind of go through your mind. I mean, you catch on it, of course, immediately, but yeah, just that once.
Huh. Okay. She's going to call out to the other two and say, the sword seems to have returned, yet it is clearly not here. We must find it.
Bumper Stump, hearing her, will toss the book back down because it's garbage. And he's going to take the lantern and head back in and then say, "Oh, bite my toe. Sam, will you just grab the thing already?"
All right, he says. And Sam rushes back into the room.
Yep, and y'all both see the sword there suspended above the altar, just like earlier.
Whew. By the bars, he says, all right, maybe I have to say something. And then he says what he has read earlier. He says in Elvish, I am the sun and I will rise to protect the people. And then he walks up there and grabs the sword.
Before you grab the sword, you hear this in your mind. I'm going to type it to you, Sam.
You hear power word kill, you're dead.
I think that's the best thing about Zoom is private messaging.
Yeah.
Yep, you hear this in your mind, Sam. As soon as you're almost touching it when you hear this go through your mind.
He holds off on that. Says,
So where was Steph will ask to see if any of the party knows, or maybe she knows. Where is this is Bonecrusher buried? Where is his?
That you would not know.
Okay.
That you've never heard it, and even the elders did not find anything in those documents that would have revealed his actual burial place.
Yeah. So Steph says, I believe that it is not us who should take the sword, but rather Bonecrusher.
I'm not sure. It says, I heard something in my mind. I heard, you must help me and help find me and help return me to the glory once again. Could
Right.
it be that the sword and the hero's body is in one of those rooms that we skipped?
I mean,
We sure didn't find anything in those treasure rooms, and we left 2 or 3 rooms unturned,
well, they were,
unsearched.
as far as we could tell. I mean, we could go back.
Yeah, let's go back and search around a little bit.
Before we do that, though, I want to go up to the tapestries and see if I can make anything of these stories beyond what we already know. But
You're going up to the tapestries kind of behind the altar there on the wall?
Exactly. Yeah, I want to examine them more. Like we took a brief look when we first walked in, but if there's anything that like seems out of place or strange, or there might be a hint to the glory that we're trying to reform, I guess.
As soon as you walk up to that wall, you hear this in your mind. I'll just send you a message.
Yeah, I bet. I'm gonna try to. Can we go look behind the tapestries, or are
Yep. Roll me a thievery check. I guess it's fine.
they? 2 that time, so that should just make it a 2.
Yeah, you're looking behind the tapestries, and you walk around the back side of the altar, or the where it connects with the wall, and you kick a stone that seems to be loose.
Oh, guys, there's a loose stone here. I'm gonna try to pull it up or push it in to see if it triggers
Yeah,
something.
you can pull it out. It's pretty easy to maneuver out. You think
Okay, I do that. I pull it out.
you pull it out, and it appears to go into a little crevice area that is not very wide. I mean, it's not wide enough, of course, to crawl in. I mean, with being a halfling, you can probably reach in there pretty easily, but it appears to be some type of leather bound deal that is wrapped up in there.
There's something here. I'm gonna get it, and I reach in there nimbly and pull it forward. Look at it.
When you pull it out, the leather bound wrapped up deal appears to be about the size of a sword.
Oh, interesting. So I'm gonna bring it out in front of the altar. Actually, I'll sit it on the altar just so we have room to unwrap it. And I'll put it on
As soon as you set it on the altar, the one that's suspended above disappears again.
All right, she's a little nervous, not being a magician herself, but she says, "Okay, this could be the sword. Let us hope it is." And she
And all of you, as you do that, unwrap it, all of you hear in your mind 3 words.
Oh.
And
Sam says,
as she
Huzzah!
unwraps it, and I'm guessing we're seeing the sword, Bumber Stump is gonna point his staff at it and say, "Does this mean you're gonna stop hunting my tomatoes?"
No response in your mind.
Yeah, so I'm gonna flip it open and to see if the sword's in there, and if it is, and I feel comfortable the sword's in there, I'm gonna put it back, wrap it back in the leather without fully.
The sword is in there. It is much like the top picture, where it's not has any flame or radiating stuff coming off of it. But the sword is in there. That is what you
Nice.
find.
Okay, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable. This is the sword, so I leave it wrapped in its deal, and I'm gonna slip it into my bag, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's a sword, and I'm 2.5 feet tall, so I don't know exactly how big is the sword. I'm probably not slipping it.
It's a short, actually a short sword. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that's fine. Then. So yeah, I since I have a short sword, I'll take my short sword and just like strap it to the side of, with one hand. I'll like strap it to the side of my bag, my short sword, and put this one on my belt, so we have it. And I'll say, okay, let us actually hold on. I say, and I'm going to toss the hand axe to whoever wants it. Who wants to use a hand axe? The druid, I guess, probably makes the most sense, right? Can you use a hand axe?
Yeah, I can use a hand axe.
Yeah, I'm going to toss it to you. And I'll say, well,
Bumber, make me a saving throw as you grab that hand axe.
Oh, great. Awesome. Okay.
hand axe of screwing player.
My alignment's actually lawful, so let me see, a 13, and I get a +4 versus magic.
Yep, you will get a +4, so yeah, you make it. You, I'll send you a message on what you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just figuring that I have the lantern, and if I need to draw the sword, I need to make sure I can. I'm not very nimble with my hands, being able to have only one hand. So, once I get that all sorted out, and everybody's ready, I say, sometimes entering the tomb is the easiest part. Leaving can be very difficult.
Yeah.
Especially
when you touch things you're not supposed to touch, but fortunately none of us did that.
No, definitely not. Why would we ever do that?
I was very careful not to touch anything.
Well, I mean, I touched that trash of a novel that didn't know anything about growing tomatoes.
Yeah.
Oh, the completion of our quest is nigh. Let's go.
So Steph is wondering, like, if just if she could figure out, let's say that she was to grab some treasure from that treasure room and run at full force towards the front door. Does she have an idea of how long it would take her to get there?
You going to the east or the west one?
Or the east one, we'll say.
From that east door to the entrance door of the throne room, we'll call it, or the sword room, whatever you want to call it, is that's roughly 10, 20, 30 feet there. So that's one round, roughly.
Yeah.
Then you've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 to the hallway. So that's what, another
Two,
two and a half, we'll say. And then another 10, 20, 30 to the entrance stairwell.
Mm-hmm.
So about, 5 rounds roughly, we'll say?
Okay.
About, what is that, about 30 seconds?
Yep. So she's thinking about that as they're walking out.
Yeah.
Because she might go back in. Because there's way too much treasure there. Kidding.
But the plan right now is to walk back towards the entrance, I
Yeah, the
guess.
plan right now is to get out. And she says, let's get back to the surface before anything terrible happens here.
You start down the hallway, and that area of where it's crumbled in, that you kind of snuck around, more rock is crumbled in there. I mean, you can still squeeze through, but you definitely notice that it wasn't quite this crumbled in earlier when you come in.
Oh.
You go into the main room where you came from. You see the northwest corner is crumbled in a bunch. You see that west door is kind of pushed in itself. And the entrance, the 30-foot stairwell going back up, appears to be completely blocked by a cave-in.
Oh, this
Okay.
is not good.
I would say you are correct. Might need to dig a little bit. Does it look like something we can dig out of easily? So we have 2 options or 3 options, guys. We could go back to the crumbled room that was across from the room where the spider webs and the crates were, and see if we can get out that way, because that looked like it had some potential where maybe insects had crawled through. Or we could try to crawl up the hole where the spiders are, which does not seem favorable to me.
Bumber Stump will pull out his shovel from his backpack, and he'll see if he can shovel away some of these rocks.
Say, Bumblestump, can't you turn into some kind of a giant mole and dig us out of here?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, I guess I could. I don't know how well adult moles can dig through rock.
Well, it's dirt down here. And then he points to, some of the dirt floors, I guess.
Does that seem feasible? Is there enough dirt that a mole could probably dig through it?
You definitely know, Bumber, when you pull out your shovel and look at all this rock, you know that you would probably die before you would ever dig your way out with that shovel.
Yeah, this is not the way.
Well, how does the mole idea sound to Bumber?
You want to try to turn into some type of giant mole and maybe start through the rock and hopefully find some dirt to dig out to the surface again?
I mean, before he did that, he'd want to know what he thinks his chances would be to do that.
What's your wisdom? 16?
Yes.
Roll me a d6 then.
Okay. 2.
You would think that's a pretty good idea.
Okay. All right. So then he will say, all right, very well. I can only do this once a day, so hopefully those elves aren't waiting for us. And he will summon his druidic powers, and turn into a giant mole and begin to attempt to dig out through the rocks and everything.
Yep, you start. It's kind of arduous at first. I mean, you think that maybe this wasn't a good idea as you start in rock, but then you start finding some softer ground. And as you're doing that, I guess Steph, you and Sam are just going to watch and wait.
Well, if there's a shovel, we can, as the mole's pushing dirt back, we'll assist as best we can to
All right.
make it bigger or whatever. We'll do what we can.
Which one of you two wants to roll a d6 and tell me your fate?
Oh boy.
That's between
All
you
right.
and Sam.
All right.
Go for
Sam's gonna do it. I got 2.
Is that good or bad, though?
I don't know.
This time it's good. Bumber, you dig your way out. Tell me how the story ends for Bumper.
All right. So Bumber Stump heads back after all of this. He gets back, and they return the sword or whatever, hopefully. And you see him sitting around his house for a little bit. Being being the good halfling that he is. He goes through the days, the sun shining in his little home, and there's this increasing sound of the clock on his mantle ticking, ticking, ticking by as he goes out to his gardens and, kind of like this montage of the stuff he does. He goes out to his garden where he's growing tomatoes in pair with some basil and some parsley and some garlic. And then he goes through his day. He reads his book at night, but it's increasing ticking, 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 ticking sound. And finally, one day, he goes out to his garden with his nice plump tomatoes, which he started to pick a little bit. And then he looks down to his garlic and he looks at the leaves on it, and they look totally healthy, just great. Like anyone who had any gardening skill would know that this garlic looks like it's just absolutely perfect. And he takes in a breath and he shakes his head and he pulls his gardening gloves off and tosses them to the ground. And then he heads over to his door, pulling his cloak on and grabbing his straw hat and taking his staff as he heads out of his home. Oh, my garlic, something's wrong with it. There are evil forces. Oh, the mayor better have an answer for this one, he says. Nothing you see of Bumber Stump Fumble Snatch.
Ah, that is a perfect ending for our Bumble Fumble Snatcher Bumble, whatever his name was. And we'll jump over to you, Steph, as you make your way back.
So Steph, she crawls up out of the dirt with the other halflings and makes her way out, with the sword that she helps deliver back. But then, as time goes on, you see that she seems to be getting like skinnier and skinnier because she just can't bring herself to eat, because every time she does, she thinks of this giant scorpion eating giant ants. And pretty soon people mistake her for a gnome. She's so skinny. But but she goes on to live a successful life as a halfling, but a very, very eating only. She becomes a vegetarian. And she's very careful about every leafy vegetable that she eats, that there's absolutely no insects on it at all.
All right, perfect. The golden egg that you found, if you wanted to take it and sell, would have been worth 500 gold.
Nice.
And the wooden pipe full of the tobacco was actually a magical pipe that would have created, if you would have smoked it, would have created a 20-foot radius smoke cloud to help cover you up so you could have escaped anywhere.
Oh, nice.
And of course, the hand axe you would have known was a plus. You got to tingle as a +1 hand axe.
Yep.
And that's probably all the loot, wasn't it, from that you took?
Yeah, that's all I got. Yeah, because the development papers we gave to the elf.
Yep, in exchange for her showing.
You gave me the axe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
The axe I gave to the Bumble, and then the sword, of course. But we, of course, gave that to the town.
Sam, you make your way back. Maybe you are the hero or not the hero, but you tell us how it ends for old Sam.
So Sam, along with his buddies, go up to Vine Birdsong the Elder and says,
"Ooh, Elder Birdsong, we have returned. We have returned with the glorious sword, the Sunriser, which once belonged to Bonecrusher Brinson Figfoot."
And then, he gestures over to Steph, who is carrying that sword. And he says,
"Well, we're here. Yay, huzzah!"
and then just looks at the Elder for the response.
He looks at you and he goes, did a Burble Grapper, did he make it back too?
Well, Bumberstump, if it wasn't for Bumblestump, we would have been stuck in there. The whole place collapsed and he dug us out as a gigantic a mole creature.
And he wonders why his garden is always tore up.
Well, he has his uses. He's great. And also, it was Steph who found it. She went behind the altar and then she looked through the tapestry and she found the sword there.
Now I will tell you all how the story ends. And since I like halflings, this will be a wonderful ending. I will not give it some weird ending. The story ends where all three of you are known as the village heroes. Even Bumblestipple, he grows a great garden the next season. The sword is taken, the real Sunriser, and put on display into a museum. And as it is, you all hear everybody there that is gathered, the elves, the humans, even a few dwarves have showed up, and the halflings, everyone hears in their mind, glory has returned. As Sunriser is put on display, and the statue of Bonecrusher kind of glows for just a moment as he hears in his mind also, I have returned also. That is the end of the adventure known as Song of Sunriser, playing White Box, the all halfling adventure. We had a halfling druid played by Crystal, a halfling fighter warrior played by Jan, and a halfling thief rogue played by Daniel. And that will end our adventure of the halflings only.